Hi, I'm Joseph Hoffman, and in this tutorial, I'll walk you through learning to play Gymnopédie No. 1 by Erik Satie. I'll share tips and techniques for playing this piece with artistry, and then I'll finish with a full performance. Erik Satie was a composer who lived in France in the late 1800s during the Impressionist movement. With a reputation for being rather eccentric, Satie often gave his compositions quirky titles like Three Pieces in the Shape of a Pear. He ate only one meal a day, mostly eggs, and he always walked with an umbrella, rain or shine. In fact, when he died, they found over 100 umbrellas in his apartment. Quirkiness aside, with his Gymnopédie No. 1, Erik Satie created a uniquely delicate, thoughtful, and exquisitely beautiful piece that still speaks to listeners over 100 years later. Let's get started learning Gymnopédie No. 1 by checking out the score. By the way, you can purchase this sheet music from the Hoffman Academy store, or you can get it for free if you're a premium member. Let's go through our checklist to get started. We always check the clefs, our key signature and time signature. Our two sharps in the key signature tell us we're in the key of D major or possibly B minor. But let's look at these first couple of chords. We have this G major 7 chord going to a D major 7. Two very jazzy chords. This was written in 1888, long before jazz had been born. But even back here, we're starting to get little hints of what's to come with music. And this could just simply be analyzed as a 4 and 1 chord in the key of D major, which is our key for this piece. We're in 3/4 time, and our tempo indication is lent et douloureux. This is French for slow and sorrowfully. Douloureux can also mean tenderly, so I would say sad, tender, and slow. Now, the key in my mind to playing this piece beautifully is to think in layers. There are 3 distinct layers in this piece. There's the bass line, which I've marked in green. All of these are the bass notes that provide the root of the chord and the foundation for the harmonies. Then you also have the chords. The chords I've marked in yellow. The chords should be the most soft, the most gentle of all the layers. It provides a gentle backdrop, some color, some harmony to support the melody, but very, very gently played. And then over the foundation of the bass plus the chords, we have the melody. The melody I've marked in pink, and that has to soar above this backdrop of bass and chords. The melody gets the spotlight. Bass, I would put in second place, and then softest of all are the chords. And if you keep all those layers in balance, you can really bring this piece alive. So, quite soft on the bass, but even softer on the chords. And then the melody just soars. And then here, measure 9 is tricky because this F sharp is tied and carries on for 4 measures. When the melody comes in, think in long phrases. Don't think note, 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 but think of how the notes connect to each other. Feel an energy flow through each note. Da, 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 dee, da, da, da. Feel that energy build to the middle of the phrase, and then this last note you have to play quite strong because it's going to hold for a long time, but let's check that out on the piano. So when you play this F sharp on the downbeat of measure 9, you've got to really let it sing out. So use some arm weight and drop on it. You don't want it to sound like an accent, but you want it to ring out so it can last for all 4 measures. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then notice if I play those chords super, super soft. That will help that melody note continue to sing out over that backdrop of the bass and chords. So 1, 2, let that ring out, and then the chord super soft. And then, super advanced technique to think about. When you get to, sorry, let me play that chord softer. 1, 2, 3. Notice that when you get to 10, you've got to hold down that F sharp still as you play the D in the bass. You clear the pedal, put the pedal back down to capture that F sharp, and then play the chord. That's a lot to think about. It requires careful precision, and it's a very subtle effect. Let me explain that again. Every measure, you have to clear the pedal. You've got to lift your damper pedal on beat 1 of every measure to wipe out the last bass note. So you're always doing, from the start, up, down with your pedal, up, down. That clears the last chord. Up, down, release the damper on the downbeat, 1. A damper pedal always comes up and then back down on beat 1. Here in measures 9 through 12, it's the trickiest because you have to hold down the F sharp as you clear the pedal. Otherwise, it will wipe out that note, and we want it to keep ringing. 1, 2, 3. Hold this down as you clear the pedal. 1, 2. Hold the F sharp down again. 1, 2, 3. Hold the F sharp down again. 1, 2, 3. And you can only let go of it after you've already cleared and repressed the damper pedal. All that has to be done in time to replay the chord. So to practice this, I recommend you do it in slow motion and think of these steps. So 1, 2, 3. Now, we're going to go in slow motion. You're going to lift the pedal as you play beat 1, put the pedal back down, and notice I'm only holding the F sharp as I do that. Once the pedal's back down, then, and I have to do all that in time for beat 2. Going on to measure 11, I have to let go of everything except the F sharp. I lift the pedal as I play the G, 1. I have to put the pedal back down, let go of the F sharp, and then play the chord. Then I let go of everything except the F sharp, clear the pedal as I play the D, pedal up, down pedal, let go of the F sharp, play the chord. And then you've got to make that all happen smoothly and feel effortlessly. It's going to take a lot of practice and thinking about what you're doing. But when you put all that together, it creates a really beautiful effect. Notice how this F sharp can just sing out through all 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Keep listening for that F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a beautiful effect once you put it all together. Then we get the main melody again. Something a little different this time. Now here we've got another note that has to last, this time for 3 bars. So again, played a little extra strong. It's going to feel louder than piano, but in context, again, just give it weight and enough resonance that I can ring out for all 3 bars. 1, 2, and then make the chord super soft. And again, keep this note depressed as you clear the pedal in each bar. And then your left hand has to come on top of the right hand to play this chord. And play it very gently, but keep that E down, because then as you clear the pedal in measure 21, you've still got to be holding that E. Otherwise, the sound will get erased as you clear the pedal and then come in for the next chord. Make sense? So 1, 2, let that note ring out. 1, clear the pedal, but keep that E down. And then you'll notice here we've gone from pianissimo on the first page to now a piano. So how I like to differentiate this is on page 1, I'll use my una corda pedal. If you have 3 pedals and a traditional acoustic piano, the far left pedal is your una corda. On a grand piano, what happens is it shifts the whole keyboard mechanism slightly to the right, which makes the hammers miss all but one of the chords inside. That's why it's called una, for one corda, chord. And that makes a softer sound, because instead of hitting all two or all three of the chords or strings of the piano, it's only hitting one of them. So it makes a more delicate sound. On an upright piano, what happens is the hammers move closer to the strings, so they don't get as much leverage or momentum before they strike, also making a slightly more delicate sound. And if you don't have that pedal, just do the best you can. But on a traditional acoustic piano, you'll have that far left pedal. Again, that's the una corda, or sometimes casually called the soft pedal. So I use that all the way through page 1 to give me that really gentle, delicate sound. And then on page 2, when I get to measure 22, I'll let go of that una corda. And then the notes can resonate a little bit more. I'll still play it really gently and delicately, but without that una corda, you'll notice a little more resonance coming in now. So it gives it slightly a new color here. Now we enter the first ending. Kind of a little bit of hopefulness in the music here. Now right there, notice the 1-2. It's most comfortable to play that F sharp with your finger 1 because of what you just played here. Your finger 1 will be ready there, but then for what comes next, it's going to be helpful. That 1-2 means substitute finger 2 while you're still holding it down. So play it with 1, substitute a finger 2 so you can play these upcoming chords. And then to keep that melody going, you want to bring out that top note of the chord. So kind of think of your pinky being a little extra pokey there, and that will help bring out that top note. See if you can get that C natural to sing out, and then that top D to sing out. And then the repeat sign takes us back to the start. I put the una corda pedal back down as we go back to the beginning. Then you'll play through it all again, and this time when you get to measure 31, you don't do the first ending, you skip straight to the second ending. Here's the second ending, and here, I kind of feel like gray clouds move in, something troubling on the horizon. Maybe this nice, sweet dream suddenly turns a little bit dark. We end in D minor. We've spent almost this entire piece in D major with this kind of bittersweet, but still a little bit happy, and maybe there's a tender sweetness. But here at the end, I think it's almost like tragedy is looming, or those dark clouds seem to be gathering in my imagination here at the end. It doesn't have that sweet happiness anymore. Maybe that's why Satie was always carrying an umbrella. He just felt those dark clouds were always around the corner, maybe. Is that cheesy? I don't know. I've just tried to get inside the composer's head and think about how we can bring this piece alive. When you play music, it's so important to know the emotion you're trying to convey, because that's what music is for. It's not to impress, or it's not about the notes. It's about what the notes make you feel. Now, let's hear a full performance. hope you enjoyed learning about Gymnopédie No. 1 by Erik Satie. Don't forget that you can purchase the sheet music for Gymnopédie from the Hoffman Academy store, where you can also find hundreds of other sheet music titles, along with lots of free downloadable reference pages for piano and music theory learning. Thanks for watching and learning with me, and happy practicing!